This is not your ABC, NBC, or CBS. This is KN TV, Channel 21, and I'm your host, Stephen, the Silver Black Butterfly Chicago. Silver Black Butterfly. Right here out of Chicago. And I can say Chicago because Bronzeville. This is going to be an exciting program that's brought to you by the Black Star Project. That's our sponsors. And I want to acknowledge, first of all, the Darius Hillman, who has made this program possible, and for other community-based organizations that are here and present their programs. I want to shout out to Gloria Smith, the executive director of the Black Star Project, and also my associate producers, Ellis Taylor and Dr. Mike Washington. And the program would not be possible without Imani Payne. Imani, wave to the audience. And Rocio Santos. Can you tell I'm excited about this guest next to me? Let me tell you a little bit about her. Graduated about 10 days ago from St. Ignatius High School. And you'll never guess where she's going to school. We're going to college.
The one and
only. Spelman. She will be going into her freshman year. I want to introduce to you this lovely, lovely lady. This is Harper Harris, a graduate of St. Ignatius and getting ready to go off in fall to Spelman College down in Atlanta. And she's going to be here to tell you about the journey that she and her brother, who just graduated, her twin brother, Stephen Harris, just graduated from Loyola Academy. He's off to Michigan State. Hello again, Stephen. Yes, you're going to be on next program, too. Harper, tell me about this journey and how you went from Ignatius to Spelman College.
It's really been a 4-year process.
Okay.
From freshman year to now, but I feel like the most important parts happened junior year and senior year.
You were telling me a little bit how important the junior year. Why is the junior year for your high school experience so much important?
The junior year is really key to, I think, the college application process because it's an important time to do research of what schools you're going to apply to, and more importantly, I feel like keep your grades as high as possible. When you apply November 1st, which is the common early action.
Early acceptance? Is that early action? Okay, go ahead.
Early action submit date for most colleges. They look at your junior year grades and your first, if available, your first semester senior year grades, but if not, mostly the junior year grades. So it's important that you succeed well in your junior year
and you have
classes.
Something to show, not just in the academic field, but also your participation in organizations. Like you were in plays?
Yes.
And you were running track?
Yes.
Okay.
Track sophomore year, cross country freshman year. Harley Quinns are a theater group at St. Ignatius throughout my 4 years there. So, and also exec in a couple different clubs and school organizations as well. So really keeping it well-rounded.
Share with the audience, especially now parents, if you got a junior in high school or going into his senior year, she's going to share some important things with you regarding testing, like what do they call the
SAT?
Pre-ACT, the pre-SAT. Tell us the importance of that.
So, like I said, I attended St. Ignatius College Prep, and part of being a college prep school is that every year we took a pre-SAT and pre-ACT score, and those scores, they're not officially submitted to any college or university, but they're for the school to look at to see, how well we're preparing our students for these exams, and also for you to see, what's it like taking a standardized test and get comfortable with those.
Parents, listen to this. She's telling you if your student, your son, daughter, whomever you are supporting in terms of going to college, these are some things that you got to go through that checklist of things that, for instance, Harper has done, and you've got to see about doing this yourself or making sure that the person you're supporting is going through this checklist of things. How was that pre-ACT and pre-SAT important for you?
I think I personally struggle with standardized testing just because it's a test over a very long period of time, 2 to 4 hours even. And so it can be hard to kind of maintain endurance during a long test like the ACT and SAT, and also be able to pace yourself because each section is timed differently. And so depending on your strong suit, you may have, if you're strong at language, then for the language section you might have extra time. For maybe if you're not as good as math, you might have to time how much time you're spending per question. And so I think having the pre-test are very, very helpful in succeeding in the actual SAT and ACT exams.
Okay, very good. So you had that, you had the test, and you were very fortunate that your family, your mom and dad, were able to provide some tutoring for you in areas that you felt you need a little bit more solid experience or okay, what, for instance, were you tutored in?
So I was tutored through the academic approach tutoring system, which is the company who makes the ACT, but they help with skills with both. But through that company, I was able to access practice tests for the ACT and SAT and focus on skills or questions that I would typically get wrong. And I was able to increase my score by 300.
300?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, a lot.
Okay, that made a difference.
Yes, it did.
Yeah.
Compared to my SAT score.
And I think one of the other interesting things that you need to bring out too, there were about 500 in your graduating class, right? How many did you start out with? 1,000?
Well, we started with about, I think, 418. We were one of the Ignatius's biggest class in history, and then over time we've lost some people. Some people have left or moved or got expelled. Yeah,
We got some bad stories too. Huh?
Yeah.
But go ahead.
And now I think we graduated with a little under 400, maybe 370-ish. I'm not sure.
Now I'm going to ask you a pointed question. How many counselors do they have for these 400 and something students?
So
it's a point I want to make. Go ahead.
Yeah. So total we have roughly 1,000 students at St. Ignatius, and we have a college counseling department of 6 college
Did you say there are 1,000 students?
Yeah.
6 counselors at that point, or what?
In my junior year, no.
Okay.
I actually visited Spelman, interesting enough, 2 days before decision day. So
What?
I visited,
2 days before you had to make a decision. Oh.
It was insane.
But we're going to stop just for a minute because I want you to share with our viewing audience what some of your choices were. First of all, what did you decide? When did you decide? What did you decide your major was going to be? And how did you arrive at that?
In my earlier years in my high school career,
That was such a long time ago.
Yeah.
Your earlier years.
So long ago. Yeah. 2 years ago.
Go ahead.
3 years ago. I was really focused on going to fine arts school because I was interested in pursuing the arts. Particularly, I really wanted to be a concept artist, which is, if you don't know what that is, they kind of storyboard or create concepts of outfits and world and characters for entertainment, film and video games and shows and things like that. So that's something I kind of want to do. But I also consider myself a very multifaceted person.
Well, you're not only multifaceted. I call you my Renaissance woman. You really do have a lot of talent in things from playing the drums to the ukulele to all the things that you did.
Yeah,
Actress in plays, lead. Yes. She used to do choreography to wake me up in the morning when I spent the weekend with the family. She and her sister would come in.
That was a long time ago.
Yeah, right.
That was like 13 years ago.
Your stage was the fireplace.
Yes,
and you would
that's
wake
true.
me up knocking on the door, and I had to come out sleepy-eyed, bleary-eyed, and watch you two perform. And that was your choreography experience, yes. But how did you come to the major and minor? That's part of it. You did the fine arts thing. How did you get to your major?
Like I said, I am a multifaceted person. I felt kind of limited looking at fine arts schools because they typically only offer programs in the fine arts, and I want to be able to explore my other passions. And one thing that's kind of close to me is kind of uncovering human culture and the experience. I believe like there's no right way to be human, only different ways of experiencing it, and it's something I want to pursue, like how to be human. And when I could find a name to that, anthropology, I knew that's what I kind of want to pursue.
You felt it, you sensed it, huh? Okay, very good, very good. And did that lead to your pursuit or start to identify colleges that could give you that better approach in education for anthropology, for sociology, etc.?
Yeah, I guess from there, I still felt like torn. Like I said, multifaceted, many different interests. I still felt torn committing, but I tried to pick schools where I could achieve both, or maybe had strong programs in one or the other. And so, like, when I applied and got in, I could decide, okay, well, I got into these, so this is what I'm probably going to lead towards career-wise. And I didn't get into this, so I guess it's kind of out of my option.
Why don't you name can we talk about at least the 3 schools that were finalists in terms of you?
Yeah.
Look at the camera and tell them.
So the final schools I was deciding on April 30th, it was between Tulane, Oberlin,
in
and
Ohio,
Spelman.
and Spelman. Tulane in New Orleans, and Spelman in Atlanta. Okay, go ahead.
And Oberlin in Ohio.
Those were the 3 finalists that,
Yes.
based upon what, the curriculum? Or the other things that you were sharing with me, the atmosphere. Go ahead and talk about that.
Several things. I think initially in my, preliminary research, what drew me to these schools is kind of their academics and how I'd be able to pursue what I wanted to. At those schools, Oberlin recently launched their BA, BFA program.
Let's stop. Let's start. Keep on with Oberlin, because I want you to kind of hit Oberlin, and then Tulane was next to the finalists, and then the finalists. But tell us about Oberlin and what you thought.
Yeah, so they offered the BA, BFA program, and in engaging with this program, I'd be able to get a bachelor's degree in like liberal arts as well as fine arts. So I would not have to give up either one of my passions, but be able to pursue both, supported by my school and made easy by my institution, well funded, and kind of. I like when my learning can intertwine and like supplement each other, and I felt like through that program I could, along with the program also provided connections to other art institutes and art executive
in the country,
in Cleveland,
okay.
Specifically. So
because Oberlin is outside of Columbus, or outside of how many miles?
It's about like 40 minutes from Cleveland.
Is it in the boondocks, kind of?
Yes.
Can I say that? It's a campus that's in the country.
Yeah, it's a little.
It's
Oberlin's
rural,
very
or
tiny,
okay.
very rural, but nice, quaint, unique.
It's a good atmosphere to study. You ain't going out partying.
No.
Are you?
Well, Oberlin students, they will make their own party. They're very
creative, like
yes.
you? Okay.
They're very creative people, so you can't stop them from having a party.
Okay, well then you have Tulane. Now, I think I know some of the glamour of Tulane. Tell us about your thoughts
Tulane
about
is located in the great city of New Orleans, and so
NOLA. For some of you who know about NOLA, right?
My mom went to college in Dillard in New Orleans, and so she was definitely like Tulane should go to Tulane.
And she liked some good. No, she doesn't eat seafood. I forgot about that.
Well, she did, like 30 years ago, but.
Okay. She put that down?
Yeah.
But
No.
when I visited there, I filled up on seafood, especially crawfish and crab. Yeah.
Crawfish is big there.
Yes.
Iconic.
But tell us about the Tulane, the things that interested you and that you had given serious consideration to. One was the city itself.
Yeah. So again, I talked about how understanding human culture is something super important to me, and just the city of New Orleans itself has such a rich history and mix of culture, and like Creole society, and Black culture as well. And so it really like appealed to me living and be able to uncover that kind of community. I graduated from St. Ignatius, which is a Catholic school, and being in Catholic school, we had an emphasis on service, and Tulane was interesting out of all the three schools because you're required to like take a service related class. Like
Servicing the community?
Yes,
Okay,
serving the
okay.
community, either through like research or like, like act kind of more like, I'm not sure how to put it, like local service, like, like a food pantry or something like that. And I really like how, even though I was graduating from St. Ignatius, service would be made easily, and it's something like valued and important to my school. And then in their anthropology department itself, they have really renowned and educated professors they know what they're doing, and they've been doing it for a while. They have the largest collection of Mesoamerican artifacts outside.
Mesoamerican. What does Mesoamerican mean?
Mesoamerican is kind of, it's the Aztecs, Mayans, and Incas.
Okay.
So that's Mesoamerica. Outside of Mesoamerica, the largest
You were thinking
collection.
about going to one of those digs over the summer and dig up artifacts
Maybe,
and things like
yeah.
that? Okay.
Something like that. Definitely, I really wanted to have research and study abroad combined together in my college experience, because I believe like that kind of tactile level of learning is really cool.
Now let's get into the final choice. The final choice was Spelman. What was about Spelman? I think there were some interesting things we shared and we talked about Spelman. Tell us about that choice.
Yeah, so I visited Spelman again 2 days before decision day. And up until that point, I had visited Oberlin once for admitted students day. I had visited Tulane twice, once in the fall and again during spring break. And even having had engaged with both institutions, I still hadn't committed, and there was something lacking in the student body that I hadn't found yet. I didn't have that moment where I was like, oh, like this is where
an aha
belong.
moment? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And when I was on the Spelman campus waiting for the campus tour to start, there was actually another class about to having their final presentations. It was like an intro to acting class, and what they were doing is that students were performing a poem that they wrote inspired by the pieces currently in the museum. I think it was by an artist, she's a Spelman alum, Claudia Rawls, and it was inspired by her pieces. And so I got to see right in front of me, not kind of staged or artificial.
Folks weren't trying to sell you then.
No.
They were not just there to promote the school. They were there to share an experience. Was that about, okay.
And I got to see the professors kind of love for and care for students and want for them to succeed, as well as kind of the sisterhood between the students and their like support and cheers for each other, seeing them perform. Additionally, I had a family friend she's currently going to Spelman, and after my campus visit, I got to hang out with her and kind of just like walk around campus along and be her shadow. And although it was a shadow, it didn't feel like it at all. People would like be like, oh, like you're visiting, here's my number, like reach out to me if you ever need anything. Like if you want to run down to anything, just ask me any questions. Like, I'm here for you. Like, literally 5 people gave me their numbers and were there readily to just, like, be a resource for me and wanting me to be welcomed and loved from the community, and that's something that I hadn't, even at the many campus visits that I've been to, I hadn't had that experience.
You know, I think I shared this with you. One of the things that I was excited about Spelman for you was something that I had read either just before you made your decision or just after. And the quote was from somebody who I think had given the speech at Spelman. And the quote was, "The faculty expects excellence."
Yeah.
Isn't that something, to come into a situation that you walk in, they see you, you're going to be excellent. They anticipate, they see you, as opposed to some of these larger institutions that you're not quite a number, but it would take more of engagement for them to identify. The HBCUs have the reputation. If I had to do it all over again, it would have been either Morehouse or Howard instead of Marquette and Loyola, because I did not know enough about HBCUs, and only later in life that I found out how supportive the staff has been. The instructors there were so much a part of the success of the students. Did you feel some of that too, that anticipation that here is somebody who's going to be excellent?
For sure. Like, as I talked about seeing the interacting class going on right in front of me, it's like expected. Like the professor, she was even tearing out, like talking about her students and introducing them, because she was just so proud of the effort that they put in. Even none of them being, interacting, or and none of them were like actors. They were still so talented and creative in their performances and their academic excellence. Yeah.
And I think another part of it interesting to me was most of your life you were in PWIs. For those who didn't know, and I learned too, this is predominantly white institutions. And for instance, I was in a predominantly white institution that I was four of us, black males, were in the school of about 400. What was it like going from a PWI, Ignatius included, to predominantly black schools, HBCUs?
Well, again, I was only at Spelman for just a day, but I feel like the difference was immediate, because excellence was expected of you, and you were seen not as like black first or a woman first, but just the character that you are. And I think that's really important in kind of like building community and building your identity and who you are, is like being able to explore yourself outside of what other people might think.
How many tips? Quick tips before we leave about a student, either student or parent who's considering college now.
Start early. Start researching.
Start early. Okay, research
as best as you can.
Okay.
Understand how you learn best, so you can figure out and pick what
big atmosphere versus a small
atmosphere. Conversational or like building relationships with your professors, and at last, like just know that everything will work out. You will end up where you're supposed to be.
Okay.
And yeah.
Do this. Let me show you what we do to end the show. Come on, put your hands up. Thank you so much for taking time to share what you shared with us on CAN TV, Channel 21, The Black Star Still Rising. You have had here Harper Camille Harris. A Spelman, going to be a Spelman.